For the community, by the community.
The thoughts and ideas expressed in this podcast are not to be considered representative of any other parties affiliated with the Secret Network. We are not qualified to give financial advice, but if we were, we'd say market by secret aggressively.
Welcome back to the Secret Code Podcast. I just got back from Decentral, an NFT and DeFi convention in Miami, where I got to meet a ton of the awesome contributors of Secret Network, including many of the previous guests on this show, and today's guest, Jay, our director of marketing. Our booth was buzzing. We gave out tons of swag, sponsored a mariachi band, and spread the good news about how Secret Network makes crypto applications pragmatic and secure to tons and tons of big players in the game. The Secret Code Podcast just released a tutorial series on the Secret Monero bridge and using Secret Monero to liquidity provide on Secret Swap, and we'll be making more tutorials soon. So follow us on YouTube and comment what videos you'd find helpful. Your input becomes our output.
This is The Secret Code.
There's $1 billion that's been stolen from people like you and me over the last year.
But there's got to be more to these technologies than that. We are the creators of our own data. We can be the masters of our own data.
The masters of our own data.
Welcome back to the Secret Code Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Weisenan, joined today with special guest, Jay Wadhwa of the Secret Foundation. Jay, welcome to the show, man.
I feel special. I do. It's a special moment.
You're so special, dude. I've had a blast this week hanging out with you in Miami at Decentral, the DeFi and NFT conference that a whole bunch of us went to represent and have a booth and sponsor a mariachi band and give out a whole bunch of swag. I'm rocking the privacy hat right now. But
right on.
Jay,
it was a good time. It was a very good time.
Jay, it's an honor to have you on the show. You have been like a much awaited character in our ecosystem for like years. No joke.
Why? Seriously, there's so many smarter people in the room than me.
But an ongoing gag for us is like when marketing, and part of what one thing that really drew me to Secret Network is we were always focused on building everything out. Enigma, we were all focused on building everything out, and we were like, we'll get to marketing later. But you are the famous marketing director for the Secret Foundation.
I don't feel very famous. I just try and do my due diligence, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the props. I hope they're founded, but I don't think they're necessary. So,
Jay, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. Who is Jay Wadhwa, and what are some unique traits about you?
Sure. I am director of marketing for the foundation, and I am 100% totally average. There's really nothing that sticks out. I mean, I just, you know what, I'm half Jewish, half Indian, and I can't do math. So I went into marketing because it was just a kinder, gentler career. But no, that's true, by the way. I'm horrible at math. I'm dyslexic. It didn't play well when I was little. So one thing I did gravitate to was writing and just knowing, who am I writing for and understanding the voice. When I was in college, I wanted to write beer commercials. So I went into advertising, had a TV background from high school because that's something to do. It got me out of homeroom, being in the AV club. And right out of college, it was a recession when I graduated. I'm not going to tell you when it was. You guys can do some homework. But there were no jobs. And so I knew someone who got me an interview for CBS Network in New York. I'm from Chicago originally. And one thing led to another, and I got a job in the advertising promotion department at CBS in New York. I didn't know anybody in New York. I had no idea why I wanted to be there, but I figured I would make do and just set some goals. So I wanted to do as much as I could, as fast as I could, and just get out. 17 years later, I finally moved out of New York. But I'm the guy who, I don't wait around for things to happen. I don't like someone giving me the rules and telling me what I should and shouldn't do, which is perfect for me being in this world. And I kind of forged my own path. I even made my own degree. I'm the only one from my college who actually graduated with a broadcast advertising and marketing degree. So, and they didn't name a building after me, so I'm a little pissed about that. So it is what it is. But that, in a nutshell, that's who I am. And you know, I believe in telling stories. I don't believe in selling things. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a marketing guy. I believe in making connections happen, whether it be person to person, whether it be person to service or product. That's ultimately who I am.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was good at sales. I never enjoyed it. And so one thing I like about Secret Network is I'm not selling people something. I've got a lot of friends and coworkers now that are like, okay, we're ready to have like a group meeting with you and see like what you're trying to sell. And it's like, I don't make any money from that. Like, I'm not selling you anything, but if you guys want me to go teach you something, like I'm all game for it. And so running the booth in Miami this week was fantastic, where we're just explaining the truth that we've created, the tech stack that we have, and all the things that we make possible. And we don't have to sell something. We're not making money from that necessarily, but the more we grow the ecosystem, the better. And it's much easier when it's not that kind of pressure of like bottom line, lying to somebody, upselling like used car salesman type things. It's more just teaching, and really what has been built out for us speaks for itself.
You nailed it. We're not selling something. So when people are coming up to me at the booth, you know, what do you know about Secret? I don't know. What is Secret all about? What are you trying to sell? I'm like, actually, I'll tell you one thing. We don't sell anything. We're not trying to have you buy something. There's no product for you to buy. What we are privacy. If you want to have privacy, our platform by nature, by default, is private. If you want to protect some of your information. So if anything, you're getting something for free. You know, but does privacy have a price tag? Not in this case. It's free. So I was, people were a little surprised that we are not a platform that you have to pay to play. We are just, you want to use it, use it. You want to, buy NFTs on Stash coming up? Fine, great. We are out there like every other provider. The difference is you get privacy for free. That's it. So
you got your business advertising and marketing degree, bam, and you
sounded good.
And you paved your own way out in New York and had a awesome career and done well for yourself in marketing. What made you transition to crypto? How did that come about?
So that's a great question. I did everything I wanted to do in that world. I worked at some great places. I worked for NBC Sports, ESPN. I said CBS, NBC. I was part of the team that started the marketing advertising department at MSNBC when it first launched. So I had some really cool opportunities. I met some phenomenal people, rubbed elbows with some pretty big players in the game of entertainment and sports. I was done. I don't want to say I was burnt out, but the challenges were starting to become automatic. And so I left and I started my own consulting company, my own marketing company. And one of my clients early on was a company who's in the sports entertainment business that wanted help with their ICO. And so they asked me to kind of help them with the marketing plan and a marketing rollout once they got past that phase to make the magic happen. Well, the company imploded. It never saw the light of day, which really sucked, but it was a great experience. And I liked it. I didn't have an opportunity after that to really keep going in the crypto space. So, cause I had other clients in other industries, high tech and, all that. And it wasn't until Tor and I met last summer that I came back into the crypto world. So that's what brought me back into the space was a series of conversations with Tor Bear, and I had a service that to provide that he could use, and he had an opportunity that I could use, and we just used the shit out of each other. Don't tell him I said that, because that's really awkward. That's really weird.
I'll keep it completely secret. I'll only broadcast this on Twitter and YouTube and everything.
Just between the two of us, right? No one else will see
Absolutely. Completely private conversation. Right. No, that's awesome. No, those are some I think biggish news networks. The only news I actually kind of take in is the Babylon Bee. So I guess those other minor ones are okay too.
Look, when I was younger, I was a news junkie. I like to know things. Like I said before, I don't wait around for things to happen. I want to know things. And I got tired of selling news. And so that's when I went into sports and more of the entertainment side of media. I got burnt out. In fact, it was a game changer for me when I walked away from that news side. I never look back. In fact, I don't watch news on TV anymore. I don't really watch TV anymore. I'll pop on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and whatever other subscriptions we have, and the kids want, and we just that's what I do. I don't really. I'll log on in the morning. I'll see what the top stories are if I'm interested. But yeah, I'm not that guy anymore.
So how did you and Tor meet each other and start this symbiotic using relationship?
So it was through LinkedIn, actually.
Okay.
He had a position he posted, and I saw it. Literally, I wasn't even trolling for a new job. I actually had a job at the time, and I looked at it, and I looked at it again, and I looked at it again, and I kept the fourth time I was looking, I'm like, got it. So there were so many things that I knew I have done or can do, and then being the crypto space as it is, there are really no boundaries or rules. It was a no-brainer for me. I traded one cast for another cast, but this new cast is so much cooler and so much more intriguing for me. And so he and I had a series of conversations, and we really pretty much said, all right, when do you want me to start? When can you start? Type of thing. And so I started with the Secret Foundation at the beginning of August. So it was about a month we were talking with each other.
That's awesome. So tell me about your role at the foundation. What's a regular work day look like for you?
So I'm the plucky sidekick. I'm the one they make fun of. You should know that, of all people. Everyone makes fun of me.
What's that, Dad?
Yeah, exactly. I remember from the New York conference, there was a picture. I was standing next to Brendan, and someone said, "Is that your dad?" I'm like, fuck. So now, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. At least you're not, trolling me and, doxing me and all this other bullshit. But, what was the question? Oh, what's my role? See what I mean? That it's like, oh, look, birds. No. So what do? So the foundation, the way I look at it is we're really kind of and obviously we're an extension of the network. We're kind of the marketing extension, even though there's some admin that we have to do and, the under the hood mechanics that we need to do. But I look at it, my role is I am here to provide whatever support, whatever, opportunities, financial backups, backing rather, whatever the foundation or whatever the committees need, whatever the network needs, that's my role. My role is to make sure that we have, and you heard me say this during the week, what's the give a shit factor? I want to make sure that what we're doing has that the secret branding behind it, and that's something we could talk about later on. But it's really making sure the message is congruent and consistent with what we're doing and what we're all about. Make sure that privacy is driven, is driving the bus. Making sure that it promotes and advances the ecosystem. So my role is to give support to that, whether it be creative, whether it be a little bit of money on social, whether it be, moral support, whatever the case may be, or someone to laugh at, whatever the case may be. It's really, that's what I do. I mean, I'm here to serve. It really is it's as simple as that. And I can lead if necessary. I have no problem wearing that hat. I've done it many times throughout my career. So I'm a utility marketing guy.
That's awesome. And since you've come on board, I've noticed quite a great jump in our branding, just from simple things like the privacy hats. I was there at the booth. They were an absolute hit. Everybody wanted a privacy hat. It gets everyone's attention. It's got Secret Network here on the back, so it's a great starting point. And just giving these out and making them curious, getting them to the booth to talk.
If I don't know if you remember, I actually had to put a box away because we were basically throwing them out on the first day, and I had to tell everyone stop hawking the hats. We got to get rid of t-shirts. We got to get, there's so many other things to do. But you're right. That was the big get for a lot of people around on the floor. Because that is we are literally a walking billboard. You see us coming and going, and it's a solid message. One word. That's it. It was super simple, and I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't. That was a conversation that Tor and I had early on. He actually brought it to the surface, and I just advanced the message. I would love to take credit for it, but I can't. It would be not a very cool thing to do.
It was,
It
it was an absolute honor for me having Tor on the show. He's great at so many things. Just there this weekend, he recorded multiple podcasts, did quite a few public speeches. Like, he's just absolutely killing it, and it's great that he's got you and an awesome team there behind him and beside him, building all this out and running with his vision. So that's great.
That's exactly what it's a team. Carter has got, he's got amazing strengths. Patrick is now the newest member on board officially. Jordan. I mean, these guys, we are all utility players, and we are all, there's several times where we've all worn several hats, and we couldn't be more opposite personalities too, which is kind of funny. So I don't want to call us a pentagram because that's creepy and weird on a lot of levels, but we're different points on that same, on the same shape. So yeah, I didn't say that. That was really not appropriate. 5 different points
on the same shape. Yeah, that's awesome. And honestly, I got to meet all of you guys this week, and I love all of you guys. It was so great hanging out and telling jokes and picking on Jordan and just having an absolute blast.
It's definitely fishing in a barrel sometimes, but he takes it. He's got a very thick hide, so it's good.
I was cracking up. He's talked offline, so this is my first time meeting so many people in the ecosystem in person, because we're all online friends. We don't know if each other actually really exists, but he's always talked about like how tall Carter is, and Carter's tall. He's like 6'2", maybe a little bit over, and Jordan's 6'4", just this giant man. It was awesome.
He's a Wookiee. He's a giant guy. I won't pretend any other way, but he's a great guy. He is as big as he is. That's his heart. He's a very passionate guy, and that's something that I really respect about him. He actually leads by emotion first, in a good way. He wants to make sure that everyone is happy, everyone has what they need, that everyone's playing together on the playground ultimately. And if they're not, he takes it upon himself to step in and be a referee, being the whipping post himself. He has no problem taking it on the chin so that someone else doesn't have to. And I'll tell you, it's a rare person who can do that. I don't know. Dude. Yeah.
When you first joined the foundation and you got involved in Secret Network, and you kind of took, like, from an outsider's perspective, get involved here and seeing everything was going on, what were some things that you thought were like just better than you expected? And what were some things that you immediately noticed were like lacking that you thought you could contribute to?
So my first experience really was with Tor and Jordan and the foundation. I needed to understand really what the ethos was first before I can explore the world, the network. And so you didn't see me right away. I mean, you saw me as very quietly. I was on Discord, on meetings. I didn't contribute. There was really nothing for me to say. I was really sponging everything in. And so some of the things that I thought really worked well was internally from a foundation standpoint. Tor's direction was very solid. He understood the business model of a business that doesn't or shouldn't have a model. He understands free growth, yet there's a direction to that. It's not supposed to be the Wild West. There's a focus, and he really drove that home. In fact, he and Jordan both made fun of me because the first couple times that we met in person, because the three of us were in the same town, I literally was just taking notes. I've got an iPad and I'm just taking notes. And more than a couple times they stopped and like, wait, what are you writing? And I'm like, everything I don't know, everything that makes sense, everything that doesn't make sense. And, I'm going to put all this together and I'll come back and rapid fire with some extra questions. So that's what I thought really worked, was the direction and the ethos that the foundation had, and how they, and I say in quotes, govern, but not really govern the network. How we can help serve the communities, the leads, the development of it. What I found to be very interesting, and I don't want to say difficult, I would say challenging because it's a little more PC. What I found was that it is the Wild West, but not necessarily in a bad way. For a decentralized world, there has to be some sort of focus. And oddly, that focus needs to be centralized. Having the same branding message is actually a centralized concept. Whatever we do needs to wash through privacy, security, all of that. And so I found that there were several people, and I love the fact that everyone's vocal. I think that's incredible. But I found that people were talking, not necessarily listening. It's different. My perception of that has changed. People actually are in fact listening, but my first impression was they weren't. Yeah, it was always full of yeah, buts instead of great and. So there wasn't really an additive value, but I was mistaken. And so that was something that I found to be challenging in how to shift my way of thinking about it from a traditional world into a non-traditional space. And I'm okay. That's behind me. Now I got a whole bunch of other challenges in front of me, but that was my first biggest. It was more of a mental roadblock for me to break down, not even go around, but just destroy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And especially in a very male dominated ecosystem where or in general, crypto is 95+% male and we need to bring more women in, but there's a lot of testosterone and keyboard warriors, and our governance chat will get, a little bit tight sometimes, but team building activities like us all going to Miami and meeting people in person and realizing like, hey, we actually really do all get along. Like we are good people. We all have the same ethos. We all want to build the same thing together, have been really good team building activities, and having you and other people along for the ride that are here saying like, yeah, how else can we contribute instead of taking away and trying to force our own agendas. And about it being the wild, wild west, you're absolutely right. And I've noticed that as I've gotten more involved in other projects, it's a lot less of what you'd consider in a like typical 9-to-5 job where you show up and your boss has like a list of things for you to do. And it's a lot more of you needing to take initiative and create your own your own things that you have to do, and going in, just contributing out of the ether, like kind of like artists. I think of coding a lot like I think of art, where you're creating something out of the ether that doesn't exist yet. And we can,
right. Building. The fact is this. I mean, this is what blows me away, and it actually transitioned from my other industry to here. Like someone said, I actually went, and I'm going to tangent for a second because it'll make sense.
Awesome.
So. Back when not back, but now the cannabis is becoming a legitimate industry in several states. I wanted to, while I was in my consulting world, I wanted to break into that. And I met with a bunch of people in that world and saying, what can I do as far as marketing goes? And someone said to me, well, you don't have experience in, selling this product. And I said, you're right. But let me tell you something. I made a career out of selling air. You can't touch it. You can't keep it. You can't even do anything with it. But I get people to come back for more.
Yep.
So when you promote a show, whether you promote a game or a team, that's what I do. I'm promoting air. And so this is not unlike that. We're selling, someone sitting in front of a computer. That's what we're selling. It's not an app. It's not necessarily, something that they can take home. It's not tangible. An NFT is not tangible, but it's very real. And so that's something that, changing the philosophy of people, that's what everyone's all about. We're not selling the same thing, but we are. And I hate using the word sell, so forgive me for that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Well, we have come to our community spotlight question.
Oh boy.
This week, This is a question from Schultzy. Schultzy's been an awesome upcoming member in the community who is now involved in infrastructure, involved in biz dev, running relayers for IBC. He runs the Lavender 5 node and a really great contributor. And he came up with the question for you. What do you see as the largest untapped community that we could reach?
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's a great question, Schulte. I hate you for asking it because it's going to be a hard thing to answer. The committees that I'm really involved with, awareness, education, development, design, those are all forward moving for me. I can't really comment on dev because I'm not that guy. I do know we need a metric shit ton more developers. That I know. I don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that. I also believe that we need to really keep our awareness growing and the awareness of our awareness growing. That's a lot of what I focus on. And everything to me, and I don't want to give these guys a big head, but everything to me funnels through that. Education to awareness, design to awareness, leads ultimately to awareness. So all these things funnel through that. So I would love to see the world know who we are. I'll tell you, at this conference in Miami, people were coming up to me. And again, I was the dumbest one in the room, and I appreciate that because I know you saved my back on a couple of questions too, by the way. So I want you to know that. I want everyone to know that. But people heard of us in a space, in an NFT space, that they really didn't have to know us. You know, we're not even launched yet with our NFT platform, but people didn't know who we were. And I'll tell you, if they didn't know who we were, they sure shit knew who we were when they left. And so for those of you who didn't see any images or anything from the conference, it was a cacophony of colors. People were selling their art. People were just color, everything was all over the place. Our booth was black and white. And we stood out more than anyone else on the floor, on both floors, actually. And I'll tell you that, and that's what made our message so simple. And it was easy for me to talk about was, we're not bells and flashes and, you know, whistles and all these other widgets that we're trying to sell. We are super simple. And that really, it's all about awareness. So they walk away with a privacy hat or a pair of socks or whatever the case may be that they walked away with. But ultimately, they walked away with the message that they now know who Secret Network is, and at least this much more of what we do. I actually stood there watching personally 4 people sign up to the Secret Agent program because I was talking to them about how they can get involved, not only buying tokens and or NFTs, but also your time. You know, you want to be involved in the ecosystem. This is a great way, not the only way, but it's a great way to get in at the ground floor. And people were really interested in that. So, sorry, Schultze, I hope you weren't gunning for another committee, but I would probably say awareness just because it's a catch-all for so many different things that we do.
And Schultze, thank you for a wonderful question. We'll be sending you 2.5 secret. I assume that we're not your top delegation since you run your own awesome node. He also runs nodes on several other ecosystems. I know I've had a couple friends delegate him to him on the, I believe, Luna and Osmo ecosystems. I'll have to double check that. But Lavender 5 node, if you want to support Schultze. And awesome question. If you guys want to give more community spotlight questions, get involved on our Telegram. We'll have it in the episode description and the tweet leading to this. So talk to me about the difference between traditional marketing versus marketing within crypto. Is there a difference? How much overlap is there?
So that's a great question. So, you know, when I mentioned a moment ago about this person I spoke with in the cannabis industry, I was trying to explain to this woman who was a senior vice president of marketing for a major multi-million-dollar company. And I'm not one to mansplain because I'm not that guy, but I had to explain to her, it's not what you're selling, it's the conversation you're having. And that's really what marketing to me is all about. So I came from the creative side of things. I was in advertising. I wanted to write beer commercials. I did ultimately write them, but I was more of a creative person. But I migrated over to marketing because I was tired of people who really didn't understand what we were doing for creative, because they were talking about audiences and demographics that really weren't going to buy our product or watch our programs or whatever the case may be. And so I was fortunate enough to have a guy who I worked for said, Jay, you think you could do it better? Tell me what you got to do. Tomorrow, end of day tomorrow, give me your marketing pitch. Let me know. Challenge accepted. So I came up with, granted, it wasn't the cleanest, it wasn't the prettiest looking thing because I didn't know how I'm supposed to put a presentation together. So I gave him a one sheet. This is what I would do. These are the people I'm going to talk to. This is how much money we need. This is how we're going to reach them, blah, 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 blah. And he looked at it. He goes, this has got to be one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. He goes, but you nailed it. Here, it's yours. And he pivoted my career to marketing. It's about the conversation. Yeah. And so to go from traditional to the crypto space, that doesn't change. You just have to know who you're talking to, not who you're speaking with. Speaking with are the people that you do a billboard and you do something great. It's like me and you talking one-on-one. There are a bunch of people we hope they're going to listen to this. Even though we're having a one-on-one conversation, it'll translate to a lot of different people. Always know that you're talking to one person. If you're developing an app, you're developing an app for one person. This is the person who you think would use this app the most. People will come. And that's really what it's all about. The vehicle, to your point though, can be a little different. Social media is social media. I'm using different social channels that I haven't used before. I used Discord when I was gaming, but never for work. Now I'm using it for work, and it's a big difference. Really sucks. I had to hide all the games I play so people didn't know I was playing them. But it's one of those things. And Telegram, I didn't really use. I mean, my kids use it. No big deal. So now I'm using that. But yeah, I mean, it's really it's where the audience is, where the people who give a shit the most are going to be, and then you go. That's where you go. So that's the difference and the similarities. I hope I answered that. I babbled.
Excellent answer. Thank you. And thanks for talking me through that. And while that guy may have told you that, hey, this is like one of the ugliest things I've seen, he did see it. And a lot of people who make pitches and have good products and whatnot don't actually get that ear time with somebody important that can make stuff happen. And so that's to grow a full-on network and entire ecosystem. Not only do you need to have the tech stack and the product that's easy to sell. So we've got that at Secret Network. We have an unbeatable tech stack. We're the only people with private smart contracts. So with a full-on application layer that's being built out, like we've got so much runway on any competition that doesn't exist yet. But then we still have to have marketing pitches so that when we get that ear time, we don't blow it. And like every single person at that booth had I had hundreds of great conversations over the last couple days in Miami where like I've got 30, 40 people I need to reconnect with. We traded contact information and that's what I was doing all day today, by the way. Yeah. And what I was doing is, I said, I would bring very blunt, like, look, when you DM me on Telegram or Discord or whatever, name what we talked about and your company, because I'm not going to pretend I'm going to remember. I'm old. I got a tiny little brain that doesn't sponge as much as it used to. And they all laughed and they appreciated that. But it's true. I mean, when I looked at business cards that I got or these DMs going through them, I remembered who they were because they were memorable to me. So, same. But we need to have the tech stack. We got that. We need to have the marketing pitches so that when we have the ear time, we don't blow it and we make impressions that are memorable and we showcase the utility and the necessity of what we're selling, like what we're offering really. And then we also need to have ways of getting that ear time and getting that awareness. We need to have something recognizable like a privacy hat that piques curiosity. We need to have relationships with people of importance and of power where we can get that ear and try to get positions of authority and power to listen to us and to understand the necessity. I've actually had a couple conversations with several politicians lately that needed crypto guys and kind of advice there, where I'm trying to pitch them like a couple. There's a mayor I'm talking to and somebody else that's pushing to be a governor, and I'm like, look. Right now, Wyoming's the only place I can incorporate as a DAO. Like, come on, like, get with that. Delaware's the only place where you can incorporate and raise venture capital funding. There are so many other ways that you can bring not only like crypto knowledge, but also crypto money and growing businesses and whatnot to your states. Be more tax friendly. Like, stop being the United States where we're throwing on terrible ideas on the end of infrastructure bills and not thinking through all the crypto necessities. We've got new PACs coming, Andrew Yang just started a new political party that's crypto focused, the Forward Party. Like, get with the times.
It takes people, to your point, it takes one person to say, you know what, I'm going to do something different. That's it. It takes one person.
Yep.
And, look, video games wouldn't exist if it wasn't for one guy to create a game called Pong. It was the dumbest, stupidest game where like these little verticals and one game revolutionized the world forever. But the same thing with crypto. It just takes one person, and it did. It took one person to say, I have an idea. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I know I believe in this idea. And let me tell you why you should too. Yep. And it took 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, and that's it. And now we're in a $1 trillion+ industry now that is so far from over.
Yeah.
I challenge the banks. I pity the banks in the U.S. in the next 5 years. I really do. So,
well, Jay, you, Tor, the foundation, everybody there in Miami, but really, you have done a fantastic job that I've already seen in getting us that ear and getting us that first conversation, because we've been doing a great job once we get those conversations, and you've been extraordinarily helpful, and I'm so glad you're in the ecosystem.
I appreciate that, but it's not. I'm not, and I'm not. This is not my humility. Look, I got my Emmys. There's no humility going on in this room, but I'm not going to take credit for that. That's something that it existed before I got there. All I did was point the herd in the same direction, and that was it. It wasn't me. And I promise you, the ecosystem was there, the infrastructure was there. It just, you need one spark to light the flame, and the flame, it was already there. And so I do appreciate the compliment. I don't want to take more of that pie than I can, but I do appreciate that you guys, want me to stick around for a little while longer. I haven't pissed that many people off yet.
Well, Jay, I was just using that knife to butter you up, but now I'm going to use it to cut you down. You've made it to the viewing key.
Yeah, I was cringing for this one. I want to know if I can get points for creativity, not factuality. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the creative side. All right, fire away.
Your viewing key question today is, what does IBC stand for?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I do know. Is everything? Oh, it's a multiple choice.
It's multiple choice. You got at least a 25% chance, maybe less.
Okay. Oh, yeah, probably less. I told you I wasn't a math major. Don't give me these math questions. A.
Inter-blockchain communication. B. Inter-blockchain consensus. C. International blockchain community. Or D. Interchain block calls.
Do I get to dial a friend? Do I get to phone a friend in this one?
Absolutely not.
Tor. Okay, so give me the first one again?
The first one was inter-blockchain communication.
And then the last one?
The last one was interchain block calls.
And then the second one? I'm strutting this up. The second one? I told you I can't remember it.
Inter-blockchain consensus.
And then the last one. I won't ask for another one.
International blockchain community.
I'm going to say D. It just sounds different.
D. Interchain block calls. That is incorrect.
Incorrect. Was it A?
Yes, it was A. Inter-blockchain communication.
I literally thought, I'm not even going to. I look. If I knew I wasn't going to get it right, I really thought it was A. But I'm like, you know what? D sounded so much cooler. So I honestly, I thought it was A. But I answered D. I didn't get the points. I'm gonna go home with the second with the consolation prize. So. You were set up for failure. That we made them all similar, but we did want to highlight that we do have IBC fully enabled after Supernova, and as of this episode's airing on Sunday, so as of a couple days ago, we now have our IBC cohorts available on Secret Swap. So if you go to wrap.scrt.network, that's wrap.scrt.network, you can actually bring over your Luna, your Terra, your Osmo, your Atom, your DVPN, and then you can wrap them for the secret versions, and you can actually LP them with CeFi on Secret Swap. I think right now the APRs are over 200%. So I know I'm personally I knew that
doing all of them. Yes, but IBC is really cool. We're actually setting up IBC in 2 pairs. So we got the individual tokens over right now, but with our next step of IBC and what the future of IBC enables, which it's such a cool program. And the Cosmos ecosystem has done such a great job building this out. But eventually we're going to be able to submit a smart contract on Secret Network and have it affect something on Akash and have it affect something on Atom. And really all of these different negative blockchains are going to be able to interact with each other. And while we were at Miami, we talked to Andromeda, who presented at the most recent Luna event, and they're working on IBC objects that will work with all these different ecosystems, where you do something on one and it affects the other, the other 10, 11, however many are connected through IBC later on. And it's just so cool. Looking to the future of what's going to enable. 2017, I was obsessed with NFTs, not because of what art was going to be available, but the cool applications it was going to entail. Right. The stuff that IBC is going to enable in 4 or 5 years is just unbelievable. I was talking to somebody about NFT, obviously this week about NFTs, and this is a guy who's about my age, and I won't say how old that is, but he's like, this is interesting about privacy, naturally ingrained privacy into these NFTs. He goes, I could very easily upload, whether my tax returns to give to my accountant, or I can upload medical records to give to a new doctor. Because it's private, you could share it with one person,
And I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that. So there are really just some incredible applications. And, the IBC world, it just opened up literally not just a cosmos, but a universe of, sorry, bad cliche, but it opens up so many great opportunities. Shut up. So many great opportunities. I was being serious, but just there's so much more ahead of us than there is behind us. And I think that we're the community to really make a wave. And I even though we are the first in our space to do what we're doing, I think we're so far ahead in this vanguard that I think it's going to take a long time, or I don't want to curse it, but someone has to do something unbelievable that the entire world has not thought of to even come close to what we've already done. So it's kind of exciting. It's a very exciting place to be in right now, for me at least.
I think we're going to do it. I mean, the goal of Enigma and Secret Network has always been to be the application layer that brings decentralized applications to millions of users. And I absolutely think we're going to accomplish that. And so it's an honor to be a part of. Now, as we get more money in the crypto sphere and as we get more awareness and adoption and interest from the entire world, obviously we're hiring more people, and you yourself have transitioned from non-crypto to crypto with your job. What are some of the challenges and kind of unique situations that we should be aware of, and what in doing that?
So sorry, I got something in my eye. So one of the biggest challenges for me was perception. You really need to change people's perception about crypto. Now you've got generations now of people who really understand crypto and really pretty much grew up with it as a legitimate and monetizable industry. But you have generations also who just don't get it. I'll give you an example as a joke, and we laugh about it. My wife, when I told her I was going to be working with Secret Foundation, she said, "So are they going to pay you in real money?" And we joke about it, but there's truth behind that. And I said, "Yeah, honey, it's real money." But I've got friends who are my age, who I've grown up with, who said, "Jay, explain to me what this is all about. Actually, let me rephrase that. So this is kind of a new thing." I said, "No, it's not. It's been around for a long time. It's just new to you." And it was new to me at one point. It was new to me last summer for the most part. Although I did dip my toe in the ICO world. That's the hardest part, to get people from a traditional way of thinking into a nonlinear way of thinking. And if we could change one person like me, I literally have, and you ask any of the foundation guys, they'll roll their eyes and laugh. Every week I pepper them with questions. Hey, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? In fact, who was it? Saw my note. Was it, someone looked at my notes on my phone and said, "Wait, what is that?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't understand what this is. I got to look it up." And something that we talk about all the time, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. And it wasn't IBC, but it was, these are things that I need to educate myself on. And if I don't know, then nobody else does, because I'm a little more precocious rather, in a precarious world. So we really need to work on perception in order to really break this barrier down between and I don't even want to say traditional versus this world, because it's like saying linear versus nonlinear when it comes to, it's like online and on air was the big worlds that were different when I was, younger, and with the digital versus the traditional. So we just have to do a better job in breaking outside of our world to let people know, hey, it's safe to come on in. And this is how you do it.
Yeah. And one of the things I think Shade specifically is doing a fantastic job of is they have non-crypto people test all their products out, because we want these applications to be easy to use for users. I talk about Ultramail all the time, but it's so huge that people are going to be able to use it like a regular email address, and that they don't have to understand gas. They don't even have to use a crypto wallet. All they have to do is use your email platform. And it happens to be on the blockchain, but that's what things are going to be in the future. And we're seeing it play out in real time. It's so cool to be a part of.
One of the biggest misconceptions, let me rephrase that, that's not the right word. One of the biggest fears is that when people understand blockchain, what people understand and not in this world is that everything's out there, everything's public. And to a large degree, that's true. But as we move forward in the secret space, we're making it more and more tangible for people like myself who don't really want to have people in our business really get into it and understand that we can be on the blockchain with Ultramail and not have to worry about all our information being out there. And so it's just an education. It's an education blitz that we need to do. And that's something that I'm looking to do in 2022 above everything else that we're doing from within the ecosystem. I want to create a series of papers that will dumbify the world and how to break in, what is it all about, and how it's better for you in many respects than what you're doing now. And that's something that's important.
Absolutely. So you're the director of marketing, and you do a great job of it. But obviously, marketing is a full-on community effort, and we're a decentralized ecosystem. What can we as a community do to make your job easier and to make our marketing more effective?
So I actually had a conversation with somebody this week in Miami within our ecosystem. He came to me with an idea that he was very passionate about, and that's great. Absolutely. I didn't understand it. I actually asked him a series of questions. So again, you heard me say before, what's the give a shit factor? What is it that's tangible that I would wrap around that I can actually sell? What's the selling point? What's the give a shit? And so after a little bit of a conversation, I'm like, that's it. Well, you kind of buried the lead a little bit. So as a community, to help me help you, I need to understand what it is that you're doing. So if you come to me with an idea, hey Jay, you know what? I really want to, this is a project I'm working on, and what, I want to market it. That's one thing. But you could say, hey Jake, I have an idea. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. And you have a plan of action, and it's already put into play, or what? There's a form to it. Rather than coming to me with an idea you have, I can't sell the idea. Or promote the idea, rather. I can promote a tangibility for someone to use your idea, right? So come to me with a plan of action, not an idea. And I promise you, I will listen. But I'll always ask the questions. I'm going to ask the obvious questions. And if you can't answer them, then we will work together to come up with solutions and answers and promotable components of this idea that we can actually market to people to use. So from a community standpoint, that's what I would ask, so that I can help you. I mean, I can't just I don't have the money to just go like this. All right. It's let it rain. We have to make sure that it's on brand, that there's something that people can benefit from within our ecosystem and from outside the ecosystem as well. And that there's continuity to it. It's not just a one idea, one off and, next. I want to know and make sure that we have sustainability. That's the business guy behind me.
And so say I have this project and a go-to-market plan for it, plan of action for it. How would I get a hold of you? How do people in the community that have ideas, that have taken action towards them, that don't necessarily know how to marketing, they didn't get their BAM degree, how do we reach out to Jay?
So I'm old, so you have to use smoke signals, and no.
Your rotary phone.
On right. Do any of you know what rotary phones are, really? Okay. So now you see rotary phones with the push buttons, which is kind of cheating. But I am on Discord, but I won't lie. I get spammed on Discord for DMs when I don't know people. If you are going to DM me on Discord, send a note. I need to know who you are. I know there's an anonymity, and I respect it, but I need to understand why you're contacting me. But if you don't want to do that, and I respect that too, Telegram is probably your best bet. And I'm at CHYP16 on Telegram. Don't ask me. It's there's a reason behind that, and I'm not going to tell you. But that's probably the best way to reach me. I'm involved in a bunch of communities on Discord. So if you're in the ecosystem, you will see me on the education, the awareness, the design, the dev meetings. If you're a lead, I'm in the leads meetings as well. Governance, I'm there too, but I tend to be a little quiet on those because there's enough other people talking. Some days are a little saltier than others, but no, I'm totally joking. Those are the best ways to reach me. So, but and I will say this though, if I don't respond right away, I'm not blowing you off. I just have so many things that I go through every day, several times a day, that I may have to circle back around and catch you on the second pass. So I'm not blowing you off, I promise.
Awesome. Jay, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an honor having you, and I've learned quite a bit about marketing, and it's been just an absolute blast hanging out in Miami. You guys did an excellent job throwing on the booth. It was a complete and utter success.
Thank you for deciphering the secret code. For the community, by the community. New episodes every Sunday. Secret Sunday.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. While we don't give out financial advice, we do spread awareness on all of the applications building out on Secret Network, and there's plenty of reasons I keep talking about Ultramail. I really think this can be the application that enacts our vision of being used by millions of end users, and people don't even have to know how to use crypto to use it. So, tweet out this YouTube link and tag us at Secret Code Pod for a chance to win a free Ultramail membership, and keep your eyes open for their upcoming token launch.